All right, Fox Weather is your Hurricane HQ. Welcome back to Fox Weather at Night. So we've been talking about Hurricane Erin, and yeah, we're starting to shift toward looking at what the impacts are going to be along the east coast of the mainland United States. But a United States territory that took a pretty solid hit from this storm is Puerto Rico, and right now we're very lucky to be joined by Monzon. She is a meteorologist actually in Puerto Rico, and you've been through a couple of these storms before, close misses, maybe some direct hits as well. I know we had Maria in 2017, we had Fiona in 2022. Those are the ones that stick out to me. But I know you've also had a lot of storms that have been close misses. How did this one compare to others? How bad was it overall?
Well, thankfully, no fatalities have been reported. Most of the physical damage so far is wind-related, with gusts that reach about 55 miles an hour locally and up to 74 miles per hour in the British Virgin Islands. Most of the reports right now include blocked roads from fallen trees and branches, down utility poles with power lines that are tangled or lying on the ground, some over cars and houses, along with fires on electrical lines, and damage to transmission towers, and several homes have been affected. Also, we've had about 6 inches of rainfall in some municipalities, so that has led to flooding, especially damaged small bridges and triggering some minor landslides. The governor at least announced that schools will resume tomorrow. However, the University of Puerto Rico, Rio Piedras campus will remain closed until Wednesday because of the ongoing power outages. Also, some flights have been canceled and have been delayed, and the dangerous sea conditions continue, and the potential for flooding tomorrow, even overnight and into tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm looking at this radar loop here, and I've got it on, I think, the last 24 hours. Just looking at what you guys dealt with yesterday, I mean, the training of that rain, the way everything just goes counterclockwise around the storm, and it's not just like a line of storms that moves through very quickly. It's just nonstop rain. What was more impactful, would you say? Was it the flooding? Was it the amount of rain? Or was it the wind with that large wind field that the storm had?
In terms of the priorities of the damages that we've seen, mainly along coasts, because we had a lot of coastal erosion, also the wind damage, but also rainfall. The closest point of approach of Erin was 130 miles northeast of Puerto Rico last night as a Category 5. I mean, 160 miles per hour. And we haven't had in our historical records any other hurricane that has been as close as a Cat 5 at this time of the year. Now it is located about 200 miles north of the Monash Channel, and we're still under some of the outer rain bands, but still we have nearly 115,000 customers without power right now.
So, like I was saying earlier, I know you guys have had some direct hits before. You've had some close passes. One thing that I think is very important in the messaging that I always try to do is to try to not overhype a certain situation. I mean, obviously there were going to be some significant impacts here, and it's important to get that message out. But I try to hammer home the idea that it's very, very different when you're on the outskirts of a storm versus getting hit by the eye wall of a storm, especially that powerful. I mean, gosh, with how strong that got yesterday, so lucky to see that stay offshore. But can you explain the difference between a close miss like this, which still has impacts, versus a storm like Maria, where the center of it comes ashore?
It was very difficult on how we conveyed the message, because people couldn't understand that we had such a close storm as a Category 3, 4, 5, and we didn't have any tropical storm warning for the island. But we had to make a difference between what is indirect impact and what is direct impact. What it's like to be, for example, in a sustained wind field and in the gust wind field. So these were very difficult to explain, but at least we tried our best to convey this is a storm that is not coming directly. Everybody is scared. Everybody lived through Hurricane Maria. So everything looks like Hurricane Maria. It doesn't matter if it's a Cat 1, a tropical storm. In our minds, is Hurricane Maria and Hurricane Fiona. So you have to be, very calm in the approach as you explain things, because people are scared, and we have to turn fear into hope, and we have to use a lot of empathy in order to address everyone's needs, because still there are many communities which are enduring the things that happened after Hurricane Maria.
This is such great insight, Ada. I really appreciate. I know this is a very busy time for you guys, and I know you said you were kind of done with work for the day, but still, you've been working very hard. And to just give us a few minutes of that local knowledge is really appreciated quite a bit. So we hope to have you back on again. Well, I guess we hope not to have you back on again, meaning we don't want a storm to come at Puerto Rico again. But your knowledge has been amazing, and we certainly appreciate the time. Thanks again, Ada Monzon.
Thank you.